This week's Torah portion, Parshat Mishpatim. At the conclusion of the Parsha, we see an interesting coda, which is, and there's a global argument about the chronological order that we already had in last week's Parsha, the giving of the Ten Commandments. This week's Parsha has been a lot of individual laws, civil laws, and other. And now we have the conclusion of the Parsha, V'yavo Moshe v'yisaper la'am es kol divrei Hashem. Moshe came and told the people all the words of God, et kol hamishpatim, and all of the laws. V'yan kol ha'am, and the nation answered, kol echad v'yomru, they answered in one voice, and they said, kol dvarim asher diber Hashem na'aseh, all the words which God says we will do. Says Rashi, what is the definition of all of the laws? Sheva mitzvot shenitztavu b'nei Noach, the 7 Noahide laws, v'Shabbat, and the laws of Shabbat, v'kibud av v'em, honoring your parents, v'para aduma, and the laws of the red heifer, v'dinin, and some civil court laws, shenitnu lahem b'Marah, which had been taught to them at Marah, which had already happened earlier. Says the Maharal, he's going to get into an argument between Rashi and the Ramban, and he's going to solve it here locally. Haramban hekshe al zeh. Nachmanides, the 13th century scholar, does not agree with Rashi's interpretation of what Moshe was telling the people here. Daha lashon v'yisaper, because note that the Hebrew has Moshe saying v'yisaper. He relates to the people. He tells them. And according to the Ramban, that verb v'yisaper mashma shelo yadu otam, that implies that the people had not previously known these laws. And we know that they had, because this chronologically, according to everybody, already happened. So the Ramban says it can't be talking about those laws, it must be some other laws. Now the Maharal, the Gur Aryeh, in his commentary on Rashi, is going to solve that and try to answer the Ramban. Ein ze kasha, that's not a problem. Shesiper lehu shehem mishpatim v'yesh onesh alehem. What was Moshe doing here? He wasn't informing them of the laws for the first time, but rather was telling them that these laws were in fact now obligatory, and if they violated them, there was a punishment. Ki ha'over hamishpat yesh lo onesh. One who violates a law gets punished. And he relates this to very brilliantly, I think, he relates this idea to a other topic in halacha. V'al ze amar kol hamishpatim. And that's why the Torah says all of the laws. Why? Ki mipnei sheba'u lahitgaer. Because the Israelites were, in essence, coming to convert. And this is a known idea in rabbinic narrative, that the episode of the receiving of the Torah was a form of conversion. That they had been the Israelites had been a people, had been a tribe, and through the giving of the Torah, they become a nation, and they become Jewish, and that's a form of conversion. And what happens when you come to convert? Mipnei sheba'u lehitgayer modi'im lo miktzat mitzvot ve'onshan. You are told, you're informed, and this is a general rule of conversion, that when you come to convert, according to the Gemara, you're told about not all, but at least some good deal of the laws and their onshin, their punishment. Ulakach amar lahem elu hamitzvos ve'onesh shalahem. And that's why Moshe here was telling them the mitzvahs, which they already knew, but now was telling them their punishment. And it makes sense here to use the verb vayisaper to relay to them, to tell them, because they hadn't previously known the punishments. Ve'ein safek ki achar kabbalat Torah, and there's no doubt that after the receiving of the Torah, in the covenant, hu yoter mani shalahem v'davar ze amar lahem, that he would tell them these things after the giving of the Torah. Udavar zeh tzarich el ger shabal hikaer. And this is all relevant to a person generally who comes to convert, and he's utilizing this notion that the Israelites here, this can all be seen as a form of conversion, and that's why you need to tell them some of the punishment in addition to the law, and this was a new idea, which is why the verb vayisaper makes sense. So it's a very insightful and clever move by the Maharal to relate this whole topic, to put it under the heading of conversion, which helps solve a textual problem that the Ramban had of how can you use the word vayisaper. Always a pleasure learning with you. More next week.